You are lying in bed. It is 3 in the morning. The house is silent. The world is asleep. But inside your head there is a riot. Thoughts are crashing into each other like cars on a freeway. You are replaying a mistake from 5 years ago. You are rehearsing an argument that hasn't happened yet. You are terrified about a deadline next week. You tell yourself to stop. You clench your jaw and think, sleep, just sleep, stop thinking. But the more you command your mind to be quiet, the louder it screams. It feels like you are trapped in a cage with a wild animal. You are fighting your own brain, and you are losing. The harder you push against the anxiety, the stronger it pushes back. You feel broken, as if your mind has betrayed you. Why can't you just switch it off? Why is peace so impossible? There is a way out of this trap, but it requires doing the exact opposite of what your instinct tells you to do. To understand this, we must look at an old story from the nomadic tribes of the Mongolian steppes, a culture that understood the nature of wild things better than anyone. In a remote camp on the edge of the Great Plains, there was a young man who wanted to be a horse trainer. He was strong, ambitious, and impatient. One day, a wild black stallion was brought in from the mountains. It was a magnificent beast, full of fire and fear, kicking and rearing at anyone who came near. The young man decided he would be the one to break it. He walked into the corral with a short, thick rope. He managed to get a loop around the horse's neck. Then he pulled. He pulled with all his strength, trying to force the animal's head down. He shouted commands. He tried to box the horse into a corner, thinking that if he restricted its movement, it would submit. But the horse did not submit. It panicked. Feeling the trap, feeling the tightness of the rope, the stallion fought with primal fury. It dragged the young man through the dirt. It slammed against the wooden fence until the boards splintered. The more the man pulled, the wilder the horse became. The corral was filled with dust and the smell of fear. Finally, the horse kicked the man away, leaving him bruised and defeated in the dirt. An old master trainer had been watching from the gate, smoking his pipe in silence. He opened the gate and walked in. He did not carry a whip. He did not shout. He took a long, thin rope, so long it trailed on the ground for yards behind him. He gently tied it to the horse's halter, but instead of pulling it tight, he let it go slack. He opened the gate to the wide pasture beyond. The horse, sensing freedom, bolted. It ran in huge, thundering circles. It bucked and kicked at the invisible demons in the air. The old master stood in the center of the field. He held the very end of the long rope, barely gripping it. He let the horse run. He did not pull. He did not try to stop the chaos. He simply kept the connection, watching the animal with a calm, soft gaze. 10 minutes passed. 20 minutes. The horse ran until its coat was slick with sweat. It ran until the fire in its belly began to burn low. Slowly, the galloping turned into a trot. The trot turned into a walk. The horse stopped. It looked at the old man. The man had not moved. He had not fought. The horse lowered its head, blew air through its nostrils, and walked over to the master, resting its nose against the old man's shoulder. The young man asked, "How did you force him to stop?" The master replied, "I did not force him. I gave him a big room to run in. A wild thing fights a cage, but it eventually rests in a field. You cannot tame a storm by trying to put it in a box." This is the story of your mind. The wild horse is your anxiety. It is your intrusive thoughts, your fears, your compulsive overthinking. And you? You are usually the young trainer. When a scary thought comes, what if I lose my job? Or what if they hate me? You panic. You try to put a short rope on it. You try to box it in. You say, "No, don't think that. Go away. Stop it." You fight the thought. You argue with it. You try to wrestle it to the ground. But thoughts operate by the law of reverse effort. The more you try to suppress a thought, the more dominant it becomes. If I tell you, "Do not think of a white bear," you will see a white bear. If you tell yourself, "Do not be anxious," you will become twice as anxious, because now you are anxious about your anxiety. You are creating the cage that makes the horse kick. The long rope method is the practice of becoming the old master. It is a shift from restriction to spaciousness. Imagine you are lying in bed tonight and the thoughts start racing. Instead of tightening up, instead of fighting, imagine you are opening the gate to a wide pasture. Say to your mind, "I see you are running wild tonight. Okay, you have permission to run." Give the thought a long rope. Let it go to the worst-case scenario. Let it scream. Let it panic. But you stay in the center. You are the observer. You are not the thought. You are the one watching the thought. Do not pull back. Do not engage in the argument. Just hold the end of the rope. Oh, look! There is the thought about being a failure. It is running very fast right now. It is kicking up a lot of dust. Watch it with curiosity, not judgment. When you stop resisting, you remove the fuel. Anxiety needs resistance to burn. Without your pushback, without your fear of the fear, the thought eventually runs out of energy. It has to. It is the nature of energy to dissipate if it is not fed. It might take 10 minutes. It might take an hour. But eventually, if you offer no violence to your own mind, the horse will slow down to a trot. It will realize it is not trapped. It will lower its head, and it will come to rest. This is not a magic trick to banish bad thoughts forever. The horse will always be wild. The mind will always generate noise. That is its job. Your job is not to silence the mind. Your job is to stop starting a war with it. We suffer because we think we need to control the weather inside our heads. We think that a busy mind is a failure. It is not. It is just weather. It is just a horse doing what horses do. The next time you feel the panic rising, breathe into your belly. Loosen your hands. Visualize that long, slack rope connecting you to the fear. Feel the space around you. Tell yourself, there is room for this feeling. I am big enough to hold this storm. You don't need to conquer yourself. You don't need to beat your mind into submission. You just need to be the field, not the fence. Let it run. Let it tire itself out. And wait with kindness for the moment it decides to come home.